One reduced to rubble by that campfire that just roared through this community early yesterday morning, claiming, as you said, at least 5 lives. All of these victims found in their cars. Clearly, they were trying to escape but became trapped and perished as they were overcome by the smoke and the flames. Just heartbreaking to think about that. People grabbed whatever they could and raced out as the fast-moving fire bore down on the town, driven by strong winds, fueled by plenty of tinder-dry brush, burning in steep, rugged terrain. The fire took out the local hospital and scores of businesses. 3 firefighters suffered burns on the line, and some 27,000 people have no idea when they'll be able to get back in here. It will not be soon. The campfire has now scorched more than 70,000 acres and is just 5% contained. Dana?
And the weather doesn't look all that good either. Claudia, there are even bigger concerns in Southern California?
That's right. 2 major wildfires burning down there, including a fire that has prompted a massive evacuation in the community of Malibu. Now, this is the Woolsey fire, and it just exploded overnight, jumping the 101 freeway that runs along the coast. This fire has grown to 10,000 acres, and more than 80,000 residents have been told there is an imminent threat and to get out now. Meantime, the Hill fire near Thousand Oaks has chewed up some 6,000 acres and continues to threaten homes. But since it's burning toward the ocean, crews are being redirected to help fight that Woolsey fire in Malibu. Both of these fires are burning out of control with zero containment. Throughout the state, these wind-driven fires have now chewed up some 85,000 acres, all within a span of just about 24 hours, Dana, just incredibly fast. Now, there are calmer winds in the forecast today, so that should help with the firefight. But again, at least 5 confirmed fatalities, and of course, many of the survivors will have to start over. Back to you.
All right, heartbreaking there. Claudia, thank you.
We ran 22 sites. We ran 14 days. We ran 12 hours. We had a big vote by mail. So don't try to turn it around to make it seem like I'm making comedy out of this.
So this is a pattern of, at a minimum, incompetence, and it's embarrassing to the state. Voters deserve better. This is not even a partisan thing. This is a county that apparently cannot count votes, as well as a county that just got wiped out by a hurricane.
My name is Andrea McCarran, and I have raised Nigel for Canine Companions for Independence for the last 18 months. I'm from a military family, and I wanted to find a way to give back, and Canine Companions dogs either go to veterans or children or adults with disabilities, and I thought it was a great way to give back. I love dogs. I've always raised and trained dogs, just not for service, and what's not to love about a face like this? I never anticipated all that I would get back, to the point I almost feel guilty about how much I get back. In terms of the people I've met along the way, I've had veterans come up to me in the street and just hug me, thanking me for doing this. They're family members. Simply walking down the street. I was with a friend the other day, and she said, I would like to have a service dog at my side, because did you notice every single person who walked past you smiled or said hello? That doesn't happen when you don't have a dog at your side. And our goal as puppy raisers to do this is to give the gift of independence to someone. There's so many people, hundreds on the wait list, waiting to get an assistance dog like Nigel. And why wouldn't I want to help that person? We have more than 20 veterans every day taking their own lives. We have hundreds of people with disabilities who could really use a little extra help. These dogs can turn on and off light switches, they can pull laundry out of a dryer, they can open a refrigerator, tug things, get a bottle of water, close the door. It's remarkable what they can do. They can even serve as hearing dogs, where they can differentiate between a cell phone ring, a doorbell ring, a knock at the door. They can do so much and improve or even save the lives of so many people. To me, it's an obligation, and it's an honor to be able to raise a dog like this. It is bittersweet. On one hand, it is absolutely heartbreaking to turn in the dog that has been with me 24/7 for the last 18 months. On the other hand, it's the first step in his future mission of, helping a veteran or a child or adult with a disability. So it's an incredible privilege, and it's incredibly rewarding to know that he will go on to change someone's life, if not save a life. I'm going to hold it together. Everyone at my office yesterday, it was his last day at work. Everyone was crying. He was getting a little out of sorts. I will keep it together until I literally walk across the stage, hand over his leash, and then I have a 5 or 6 hour drive home, and I will probably sob the whole way. I will definitely raise another dog for Canine Companions for Independence. It will be the third service dog I have raised, the second for this organization. They call us serial puppy raisers. A lot of us literally turn in one dog and bring home a puppy that same day. At this point, I wish that's what I was doing, but it just was not in the cards. But it's been an incredible experience. The irony is, in my workplace, we all helped raise this dog. And the notion was to make someone else's life better by raising this dog. And ironically, we all became better people.
We have someone on the phone right now who's actually at the Broward County Elections Office. Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz from outside the Broward County Supervisor of Elections Office is on the phone with us now because they've just opened the door. So we're trying to grab you and ask some questions. Are you with me?
I'm with you, Harris, from the Banana Republic of Broward County. Here we've got very passionate folks on both sides, and what concerns Republicans is not the law that would require an automatic machine recount in the governor's race or a hand recount in the Senate race. It's the fact that in Broward County, we've now had over 80,000 ballots literally spoken into existence. The the law in Florida requires the supervisor of elections to report how many ballots have been cast, what voters voted at precincts or early voting, and then also to ensure that we have reconciliation as to how many ballots were returned voted and how many ballots were returned blank. Even though that's the law, it has been totally ignored by Brenda Snipes in Broward County. And so I am calling on the Florida Secretary of State, the Chief Elections Officer, to place Broward County in a state of receivership, to come in, take over, and find out what the hell is going on in Broward County, where tens of thousands of ballots are mysteriously appearing.
I know from what you were saying, you called it the Banana Republic of Broward County. They have had issues there before, and the election supervisor, Brenda Snipes, is expected to have a news conference inside that very office moments away. So it is great to get the congressman right now on the ground. You're in the thick of it. I would ask, and I know it's your home state, why do you call it a Banana Republic there in Broward County, and why are you there personally?
I'm here because 8 million Floridians, including my own constituents, cast ballots. And in 65 of the 67 counties in Florida, everything happened perfectly. Even in counties that were just ravaged by a Category 4 hurricane a month ago, they were able to get ballots counted by the wee hours of Wednesday morning. So my constituents are in jeopardy if we allow Banana Republic-style voting to occur in Broward County. Now, why do I call it that, Harris? Because this isn't the first time. In 2016, when Debbie Wasserman Schultz had a primary challenge, there were legal pleadings and conclusions that laid out the destruction of ballots in that Democratic primary. Was that incompetence or stupidity or corruption? Who knows? But time and again, we have election irregularities in this one place, and it poisons the integrity of the entire Sunshine State. That's why we don't want it to happen. That's why we want state officials to come in, take charge, and have a transparent, open process where we can follow the law and have the recounts without all of the shenanigans.
Congressman, I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Are you saying that, because you said they kind of came out of thin air, are you saying that 80,000 votes have suddenly been found?
Harris, when we looked at the total number of votes reported by the Broward supervisor on election night as opposed to today, yes, more than 80,000.
How do you find 80,000 votes? How can you be so sure that that's what's happened?
Politico reported that in an elementary school that was a polling place, a day later, a librarian just walked out with a box of ballots and said, well, we've got to go count these. There's no chain of custody for these ballots. There were videos of ballots being moved in and out of trucks.
But it's not likely that 80,000 would have been in one box. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you find that? What is Ms. Snipes saying? How did you get to 80?
Well, I mean, it's outrageous. And the thing is, there are certain checks and balances in the process on Election Day, before Election Day, regarding reporting, and then that creates a bookend so that we're able to snag any corruption.
Right.
The problem is when the supervisor of elections ignores those requirements, then you don't have a way to reconcile how many ballots were cast, where they were cast, and then to ensure that you don't just have people filling out blank ballots that weren't voted at a polling place, stuffing them in a box, and then showing up and saying, oh, wow, we found, new boxes and new truckloads and new pallets of ballots. It's outrageous, and the world is watching.
Yeah, the world is watching, and I'm so glad you're with me right now. I just want to reset the screen for a second, Congressman Gates, because if people are just tuning in, what they're seeing on the left side of their screen is where you are, and you're on the phone with us because they've opened the doors, and that election supervisor, Brenda Snipes, is expected to give a news conference. We're going to take our cameras on in, but on the right side of the screen are the people outside that are just a few feet away from that, yelling about the fact they're calling her Sneaky Snipes. Some people are saying that they support the idea that these votes have been found. I mean, if you can read the signs, you have people from both sides. I don't even want to say political aisle, but both sides of this situation. What is the temperature of the people on the ground right now?
Well, our passions are running hot. Folks have been hollering and screaming at each other.